Welcome to KGXT, Gen X Talks podcast, live from Central California.
Making plans with the boys. I'm gonna hit the town. Yeah, I'm gonna make some noise. I'll push past the pain and my wounded pride. I'm gonna live it up. Yeah, stay out all night. But sure, I've had some better times. And I can't count all the tears I cried. And maybe down my last time. Yeah, but the blues took me just fine.
Need to get done.
I didn't press record.
Ah,
On either one,
fudge.
I didn't press record till just now. We literally have to start the podcast over. The only
you suck.
the only people that are going to know are the radio listeners. I just forgot to hit
You
record.
suck, monkey balls. Swear to God.
Well, we can tell it better this time. Welcome to the Gen X Talks podcast. I hit record now. So now that we're recording, the light is green, the traps are clean, all the microphones and things are going in the right way, and it's actually recording. You know, what if
I quit.
What if I'd have gone the whole podcast and said, oops,
I would have quit.
I forgot to hit record? That would have been
Do
bad.
you see this look?
Yeah, it's not a good look.
You're buying me freaking lunch today.
Just lunch? I'm getting off easy. Welcome to the Gen X Talks podcast, broadcasting from the Gen X Talks studios, KGXT studios, 200 feet below occupied California. I'm surprised you made it here.
So, what have you been up to this morning? I've been really busy.
So how do we redo? We only missed about 5 minutes, but
Let's
actually,
pretend it didn't happen.
okay. So hey,
Hi.
I'm surprised you got here on time today.
Yeah,
What
it's
a
amazing.
busy-
I've had a full day already. I'm done.
What a busy
Clocking out.
morning we've had. So yes, let's start over again. The city tagged one of our vehicles in the cul-de-sac. Our
That is
old
correct.
truck. Had to move it off the street.
We had 24 hours.
24 hours. So we get out there this morning and we go to move it. And we got Chris, who showed up with his crew. They're working on the deck. They're working on our upstairs.
We have to bring it to code.
Yeah, bring it
Because
up.
we don't fly like that.
We don't fly that. Homie, don't play that. But we got to fix something on the deck. So they're redoing the railing. So him and his crew are in the cul-de-sac with their trucks, their gear. We're trying to move cars in and out of our driveway. And we went to move the shop truck, the old shop truck. It blocks the trailer. Like I said, we live in a cul-de-sac. There's no other houses on our cul-de-sac.
If you look down the street, you can't even see the
No.
trailer and the white truck.
No,
that
they're off-
person literally had to drive down the cul-de-sac.
that was it.
But we weren't the only ones tagged, by the way.
No, I know. I saw other cars.
Yeah,
on the
go
street.
ahead.
So, we go to move it and we go to jump it, and I went to the battery cables weren't even on; they were loose because the last time the kid went out there, he goes, "The jumper box doesn't work," and he probably had loose cables. Then he took the battery in and charged it up, put the battery back in the truck. I still can't get it to start with a charged battery because he didn't put the cables on. They were literally finger tight.
Isn't that battery 101? Like,
Yeah.
start there.
Yep, start with the cables. So I yelled at you to get a 10-millimeter wrench,
And your girl did.
which my girl did. Got a smart girl.
Because
She
your
went right up
mom's
there.
girl, my dad tapped
Your
me
dad,
on.
yeah, your dad taught you a lot. Sometimes I'm mad at your dad because he taught you so much of the guy stuff. There's very little things you need me for.
Well, my brother was out of the house, so he needed another boy around, and my sister wasn't going to do it.
No, you followed him around to the hardware store. You followed him around the yard.
I was the tomboy.
Yeah,
Played
so-
sports, everything.
Well, the bad part is that now you know so much. It's like I start doing something, and not often do you ask a lot of questions. So
no, I don't.
anyway, so you did go up, got me the wrench, tightened it up, truck started, put it in the driveway, but we still have to block the trailer. I don't want someone backing up to the trailer in the middle of the night and stealing it. So it's on the street.
So
We
guess
block
what?
it.
We have another car.
Yeah, I said just grab the Yukon, warm it up, put the Yukon out there. So in the middle of people dragging construction equipment up and down the driveway, you yell at me from across the street. You're like, just so you
Hey,
know,
dumbass. That's what I should have said. That would have been funny.
you don't treat me like that.
Hey,
in front of my
dumbass.
friends.
This one isn't registered either.
Well, we non-op those cars, and I didn't realize we non-op the Yukon. It's always in the driveway.
So let's test our fate.
Yeah, so they're going to come by today and check to see if we moved it. Hopefully they won't tag that one too. Go, well, you just replaced one car with another one. Now you got 24 hours to move this car. So we'll see how it goes. But
Anybody want a Yukon?
anybody want a Yukon? So we got the cars all situated out front. We got everything moved around how we're supposed to. Chris and his guys are back here upstairs on the bedroom balcony fixing the railing. And then you come out and you tell me the story about how your chickens are now at night. They're not going in this big walk-in apartment we built.
Yeah.
They're going on the roof of this thing, which looks over into our neighbor's backyard.
Yeah, but they never see. I recount them in the morning. I have a feeling they've been sleeping up there. It's been so hot. Let me explain. It's been so hot that they're not going in the hen house. It's so warm at night. They just sit out in this apartment.
But there's predatory birds, man.
Yeah, I know. And they're fine. I mean, everybody's fine.
So you go out there last night with a big old stick and you chased them all inside and blocked them.
Yeah, because if anybody has chickens, when chickens fall asleep, they're asleep. You can't even move them. So I had to hurry up and get out there, get them down, got them inside, and then I just started observing what is the problem? Why aren't they getting on the roofs in the apartment? So I'm watching, and there's like 5 of them on the ground trying to get up on the perch.
Yeah.
And there's no room.
No, because you got all those fucking chickens the last time when I told you could get like 9 and you got 18.
And the chickens are fighting for position right now.
Plus the ones you already had.
Right.
So now you got like 36 chickens and there's literally no room on all of the bars I put up.
The perches, yeah.
The perches. I put up a ton of them. So you come out with a little you came out to me first and said, what do I need? I said, get a drill.
This morning.
Yeah, you came out this morning and said, look, let's put some more perches up. I found some wood on the side of the house. I'm like, all right. Yeah, I said, get a drill bit, get a screw bit, and grab some long Phillips screws in your wood, and let's go. So we go out there and tried to position 10 foot. One of them's like 6 feet long, and one's 10 feet long.
Yeah.
That's got to be enough room for all your chickens.
Yeah, there's plenty of room now.
Now, what if they still start going up there because they've been used to going up there?
Well, that's just have to retrain them. I may have to go out there and just kind of shovel them in there for a little bit to get them back into it.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's that. So we did that, and then it's 9:30, and I text you and like, Kate, quit fucking around with the chickens. We got a show to do, and you refuse to be on camera unless you've had a shower.
Oh, well, the reason is I was like getting overheated. I was drenched. I was just sweating, and I'm like, I am not going to sit in the studio. I thought maybe I'd get a chill because I was so wet.
I wouldn't doubt it. Yeah.
And my hair was like all yucky, and I'm like, I got to go in a cold shower. I got to bring my body temperature down. So I said to you, I go, just start at 10 and I'll be there.
Except for you forgot one thing in your haste, and I'm not upset about this entirely. Well, you go upstairs to our bedroom, our bathroom, you take off all your clothes to go get in the shower. They're working on our deck.
The drapes were closed. Who cares?
Mostly.
Who cares?
Mostly closed.
Oh, my
And I'm not saying that those, 19 and 20-year-old guys that Chris put out here were spending a little bit of a tilted head looking towards the window.
He's so full of shit right now.
Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me that they wouldn't do that. Tell me that you were inside. How would you know?
They didn't even know I was there.
Oh, right. Like a 17-year-old guy is not going to know. A 19-year-old kid's not going to know if there's a naked woman on the glass.
I don't care. I needed a shower.
I'm letting you know that.
Okay. Well, thank you for that information. I still needed a shower.
So you barely made it down here. You come running down here, flopping around and park yourself in the chair just to get going. And here we are. And then I didn't hit record.
Unbelievable. I'm dead after this. I've put in a full day already.
It feels like it. Yeah. So where was this?
I have no idea.
Do you have me squared away for your trip to Vegas?
Well, to the best of my ability.
I thought you were going to make fun of me for how I said it. Do you have me squared away for your trip to Vegas?
Never going to happen.
Because you're like, wait, don't I usually have to get myself squared away for my trip? No. You have to. Yes,
I am running away from you.
You got to get yourself squared away. But you not only do you have to pack and prepare yourself for leaving, you have to pack and prepare me for your trip.
I haven't done laundry. So neither one of us are.
But we did stock up on some food. We got some I will probably be in survival mode until you get back.
You'll be fine. You'll live.
Anna and Jade will be here.
Yeah, I'm not going to Vegas to play. I'm going to be a grandma. I have to go babysit.
Yeah, so you're going to go do that, and Briggs is going to drive you there and back.
Yeah, we're both going to go. So we'll be able to tag team the 7-year-old grandson.
Now, I will say this. You did quite a bit the other day. We went down to Valencia to do a podcast with Grant Martin and Torquestrap at their place.
Oh, man, was that a day.
And we hustled around here, drove an hour over the Grapevine, 3 hours in a chair in his studio.
Yes.
An hour back and then about an hour and a half of prep and live stream for
With
our
no
bottom of the
rest
glass
in between.
nation. No, very little. And I'll tell you, for all that driving and all that sitting, and you did get up a couple times and have to hold your back. You took your pain pills on time, but this is a little bit of credit to Marcy Zavala. MarcyZavala.com, MarcyZavala.com. She has done such a great job. 2 years ago, you would not have been able, you would have killed you. You would have been laid up for 2 days, not coming out of the bedroom. You'd have laid in the hot showers, heating pads, pills, and patches. You would have been there for 2 days. And now?
I'm doing much better.
You were a little bit stiff the next day, but you got up early.
Yes, I did.
And you started moving around. You were doing stuff. I'm telling you, I can't say this to everybody out there in radio and TV land enough. If you guys got this weird joint pain, if you have bone pain, if you have muscle pain, if you have any kind of body pain at all,
digestive problems, just everything.
This has been an ongoing thing with my wife for 10 years since cancer. And we tried everything. We tried everything.
And all different doctors and all kinds of
every
stuff.
voodoo thing we could find from Mexico and Canada and across the horizon. Nothing worked.
And let me just say, you know how sometimes you do everything the doctors tell you, but you just know that there's something they're missing? That's how I felt. I kept fighting. I kept trying to find answers. And that's why.
And then lo and behold, we stumbled across Marcy and she's like, we've known her for years. She's like, this is what I do, right?
Yeah. And she had I had told her, I go, man, I wish I would have found you 10 years ago. She goes, 10 years ago, I would not have had the knowledge.
No. Yeah.
So over the course of me learning what was going on, she was learning, and we both came to the realization we met at the perfect time. I'm telling you, if you guys go to MarcyZavala.com and click the button at the top, you're one click away from feeling better. It's a testament. And it doesn't cost you any money just to ask her questions. She'll do something really quick and just ask you a few things.
And she doesn't pay us to say this. I'm only telling you guys this because my wife, I'm looking across the table at her, living proof that you don't have to live in pain.
I want to tell one more thing. Marcy and her husband, Damon Zavala, Dr. McDreamy, will give you a plan, but it doesn't stop right there. I'm learning that I am learning how to take care of my body, but it's going to be up to me to continue with what I'm working on so that I don't go backwards. So they're going to give you the keys to open that door and to get better, but it's going to eventually fall on you to follow their plan, to follow their exercise routine, to do all this stuff.
And you run across that all the time. If you fall off the wagon, you start hurting.
Oh, absolutely.
If you follow their instructions, you're doing better.
Well, that's why I'm thinking about how I drove in the car.
Right.
If I don't keep up the stretches and all these things, I'm just going to go backwards and I'm going to be in pain again. So it's something I'm going to have to put into my routine.
I think the one thing that sets everybody back, and there's a hiccup in this, and I'll tell you what it is right now, just so you guys don't get excited. If you guys go for the Marcy Zavala plan, there is a major diagnostic thing at the very beginning, and it's huge expensive. And I don't know that insurance covers it. We had to split it up into some payments on that, and we did it. But for us, it was worth it, but it's a huge expense. So I know a lot of extras, a lot of you guys, a lot of you fans of the program, you guys listen, you want to go do it, but you come back and tell me it's too much money. Well, it isn't the diagnostic is the only big expense. After that,
you get free one-on-one. You get free one-on-one with Marcy. She will take the time.
But she doesn't know what to do with your body until the tests are done.
Exactly.
You're not giving her money for the test. This is the money to have it extreme testing done and diagnosed. Then she can look at what's going on. But if that, unfortunately, is a bunch of money.
It is a detail. I want to say this also. It is a more detailed test than your doctor has ever done. This is the most intensive test I've ever had, with cancer.
Yep.
So it's pretty detailed.
But
it's pretty crazy.
The benefit is, guess what? My wife is no longer in pain after 10 years. So I'm just letting you guys know, if you can sell some of your children, go do it. Or at least
they're probably the ones that caused you all the pain anyway.
Yeah, if you can rent them out. But I'm telling you, at least click MarcyZavala.com and check with her. I know as we all get older, the pain doesn't go away, and she improves it. She can improve it all along. Anyway, so anyway, so I was talking about the drive back down to Valencia and back was a great test of all the sitting and driving and sitting and driving, and normally that kills you. Now you're doing better. But this is why I want to quit podcasting.
Why?
Because of Grant.
Oh my gosh.
He
Your
edits.
new BFF? Your new bromance?
It is not a bromance.
Oh, by far a bromance.
Stop saying that.
You guys were googly eyeing each other across the table on
That is
Thursday.
so not true. I have that's why I wear dark glasses so you can't
You
see.
weren't wearing your glasses on his podcast.
So we drove down to Valencia, and he lives. I didn't know where he lived in Valencia, but he lives on Tatooine. He lives in.
That's what's behind Magic Mountain in Valencia.
In Mos Eisley's. There's a town. That's where he lives in the Tatooine city.
They put it back there.
Yeah, it's all the houses back there look like modern day Star Wars stuff. It looks like a Star Wars. It looks like Mos Eisley's, but without rounded corners.
That's true.
All the buildings are, they're it looks like Star Wars back there. It's all like modern. So
It is.
We go back there. We had his studio was built in his garage.
For those of you that have grown up in the San Fernando Valley or the Southern California area, know where Magic Mountain is. We were geeking out because we were driving toward Magic Mountain and we were going past it. And we're like, this is not supposed to be here.
These were all just barren hills
Yes.
for 30 or 40 years, and now there's roads everywhere.
And roads and houses, and it just blow my mind.
So we go down there, and Grant Martin, he's the inventor of TorqueStrap. TorqueStrap is not currently a sponsor of our program at all, and that's okay. I'm talking about him because he's a great guy and they're a great company. That's it. So he did an interview with us. He drove up here. We went down and we're on his show down there with his podcast partner, Marcus, who's also an inventor. He's got this weird thing.
Deck hooks. They're very cool.
If you have a deck that you walk on that is, 2x4s, 2x6s mainly, and there's a gap between every board. Usually about the size of a 16
Or you got a trailer with wood boards on the bottom, right?
The idea is if you got wood like that, like a deck that you walk on, he invented a hook that slips down between the boards, turns sideways, and now it comes up and it's a hook in your deck. And it's strong.
It's really strong.
It's so quick, and you can move them all around. It's badass. He gave me a couple of them, so I'll show them to you guys on one of the programs. But it was great to be on their podcast. It lasted 2.5 hours.
Yeah, his studio is pretty cool. He did it in his garage.
Yeah,
very
but
impressive.
He's got all these cameras. He syncs them up, and this is the part that makes me want to quit. He is an amateur podcasting guy. He's an amateur film editor.
I was going to say an editor.
And he fucking does them both like a pro. It's embarrassing now, to look at the stuff that we produce. We're like, God, ours is just kindergarten finger paint compared to his.
We need to hire him.
Yeah, we do. Well, anyway, he was gracious enough to invite us into his home, and we went down there and did his. I put up the links this morning on some stuff. I'll put up more later.
It was fun.
To the general podcast.
It was a long day. We've had a few long days in a row.
But if you guys want to listen to that, it was a whole big thing, and his podcast is about inventions and stuff. So it was really nice to have a different venue that we've been on than what we normally do. I will tell you something that I thought was very cheesy about him and his home.
Oh man, you are ripping the home today.
Yeah.
And what'd you say to me?
No, I didn't rip the home.
Wait. What'd you say to me when we got down to the?
I didn't rip his home. I said it was Star Wars. I thought that part was cool.
Oh, all right. I thought you were making fun of it.
No, that's a good thing.
Okay.
Everything I've said up until now is good. He's good. His podcast's good. His editing's good.
All
his
right,
Star
I'm just
Wars
clarifying.
house is good. Up until this one thing, which makes me, I don't know that I can still be his friend.
Wow, one thing and it's thrown out the window.
Well, it's kind of lets me know where I stand in our friendship.
Oh, is this the line? Did he draw the line in the sand?
Yeah, it kind of did. I would never do this to a guest, and this is what he did. Now, I know.
I was the guest there too.
I know, and you didn't even catch on. This is what blows my mind. Why am I the only one who notices? Okay. So we obviously were down there, we're driving and doing stuff and had lunch. We had to go to the bathroom. Hey, can we use your bathroom? So he has a very nice guest bathroom. So you go to the bathroom and come out. I go to the bathroom and come out. But when I was in the guest bathroom,
yes,
he had one towel out for a guest.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
And it was tiny. And did you see what it said on it?
Yes.
Lennar Homes. That means that when he bought that house, which is obviously built by Lennar, they give you a little care package of their cheesy shit. He probably got a Lennar coffee mug. He got a little Lennar hand towel. I mean, the stuff you would throw away. You might use that to hold pencils in your garage if you got that coffee cup. But that's what he put out for us as a guest. The Lennar freebie hand towel as a
That's a deal breaker?
well, you know
That's a relationship breaker?
He could have gone and got something from Bed Bath & Beyond. You know, he could have got something nice and fluffy and said, welcome guest. He literally put out the Lennar, this big old stitching on it says Lennar. In fact, I don't even think it was stitched. I think it was painted on. It just says Lennar.
Wow.
That's what you put in your garage to check your oil in your car. And that's what he did.
I guess the relationship is
Well, it's teetering.
close to being over.
Yeah, it's just that's not what
I don't know what to tell you, man.
I'm just saying that was kind of a little it felt bad. I felt like all of a sudden I was in the servants' quarters. That's how it felt. So
Wow.
I'm trying to get over it. I'm trying to get past it. I love Grant, but my God,
See, there is a bromance. You love him.
I do love him, but not in that kind of way. I love him from afar. 113 miles.
I was going to say 50 minutes away. I love
50
him.
minutes, because that's how far it is. Not that I know how far it is from his house to my house, but it's 113 miles.
Wow, you even clocked it. That's even worse. The biggest bromance. That's what you do to a girl in high school. How far is she from
She's
my
3
house?
streets, 4 corners, 2 turns, and 1 traffic light away. Yeah. So going back to how you were out there helping me screw all the chicken things together for the roost for them to purchase, I thought of something else that was funny you did. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be more talking to you with this than anybody else because this is just funny about my wife, maybe not to my wife, although I'm sure she'll interject. So when she gets tired of waiting for me to do a project, she just does it.
Yes, I do.
She goes,
I give him a 2-week minimum.
You got 2 weeks, and if you don't do it, I'm just going to start doing it myself. And I'm usually like, no, you're going to fuck everything up. So the other day we had she has put up in our bedroom is very hot because of the position it is in the house versus the sun in the summer, and we do live in Bakersfield. So she put up we together put up these big, heavy, thick, darkening blackout curtains. They really helped in many, many ways. But there was a tall, narrow window in our room we didn't have the curtain or the rod for. You finally got them together, and you wanted me to help you, and I didn't. So all of a sudden, I look over, and one day I'm like, whoa, who put up that curtain? And you got all persnickety with me. So, well, I did. I got tired of waiting for you.
Oh, well, I really love the hangers that I have. Those are pretty cool.
So she goes on with that, and I said, how'd you get up there? I went and got your ladder. I figured she was going to be standing on cardboard boxes from the closet.
I'm not that stupid.
So she went out and got a ladder. I said, well, how do you know it's level?
I did try a chair first, but
So I said, how do you know it's level?
I got a level.
So you went out and got one of my levels. Now I'm starting to be like, well, all right. So then I figured my next question was going to be, how did you mount it? And she's going to say, well, I used a lag bolt, or I used a toggle bolt, or I went and got your drill and I found a stud.
I cheated.
Yeah. She stuck them up there with peel-on tape.
No, they come that way, so you can mount them on the wall, but they already have pilot holes for you to screw them. I was just like being lazy. I was like, fuck, I don't want to go through that. I didn't want to get it.
So you stuck them up there, and I thought, well, that's pretty impressive. But in the back of my mind, I thought, these are blackout curtains. They're heavy.
I know, but the other thing I thought of? It's on one of the hottest walls.
Yeah, hottest walls, hottest
out
side.
there. So I'm sure this doctor I thought about. Yeah.
So in the middle of the night, this curtain falls and comes crashing down on her curio cabinet.
Sounded like a poster coming off your wall. Remember that?
Yeah.
In the middle of the night when the poster fell?
Because the poster keeps going and going and going, and everything it hits, it makes that hollow noise.
Scares the crap out of you in the middle of the night.
This kind of did too. And I'm like, what the fuck was that? And we looked around. She goes, oh, my curtain fell down.
On one side.
Did I have the smug look? I did. I looked at you like, see what happens when you don't use your husband for some help?
And where is it sitting right now?
On
the same
floor.
spot. I haven't been back up there. No, I was trying to cheat the system.
Right. You got it, man. You got to screw things in.
I was cheating the system, hoping that it would stay. And I knew I should have I just didn't want to find the stud, and I didn't want to go. I was just like, ugh.
Well, the other thing is that I don't mind what you do around the house, but I really hate those fucking essential oils you've got everywhere.
What?
They're all over the house, and there's a different...
People love them, and they're safe for you, and there's a gentle fragrance that goes from room to room.
Yeah, but it's different in every room, and I understand, but how come you can't have something... How come there's no cool smells? Like, how come I don't walk in the kitchen, and you got one of those essential oils that's like cooking bacon grease or something. Wouldn't that
That was yesterday.
I'm just saying, why can't there be a familiar, like,
They do.
Why isn't there a shower time Irish Spring fresh smell?
They have them.
Why don't we have them? We've got
They
this
have
weird
like
shit.
sugar cookie and stuff like that.
Okay.
I
so
just don't want that because then people are going to think there's sugar cookies around.
That's why you won't do it, because you're afraid of the deception may lead a little further?
Yeah, they're going to go, have you been baking all day? I'm like, no, but thank you. I did it yesterday.
They're going to think you're holding out on them. No cookies for them. All right. I'm just saying.
They have baked apple, pumpkin. I mean, you can get whatever you want. I just choose not to.
I think that when you go into a garage, you should have one that smells like gear oil. When you go into a kitchen, it should smell like a hamburger.
Oh, you should you should have smelled the one I put in Briggs' room. Because his room, you guys, remember teenage boy smell? Oh, I don't miss that now that he's moved out, just so you know. But I used to open his bedroom door and go, holy Santa Claus shit. It's like gym smell, So I snuck Central Oils thing behind his dresser. So we couldn't pull it out. And it was called bookstore something like that.
Bookstore?
Yeah, I had a more manly
What does a
scent.
bookstore smell like?
Kind of old books. Like I love the smell of like a
How would
bookstore.
you invent that's bullshit.
Anyways, I put it in there and he had no idea, but I could smell it. And when I opened the door, I was like, yeah.
It smelled a little bit less like dirty clothes.
Yes. It was all good.
I can't. That's one of the things I don't miss about one of our daughters who's moved out is you and her would come home with those fucking candles and essential oils, and you guys would always make me smell them. Dad, smell
still
this.
have.
Dad, smell this. And it was always like, I don't fucking care. And that's gross. No, I don't want my living room to smell like gingerbread. And that's
you just said. You don't want it to smell like gingerbread.
But that's the fragrances you guys would get.
No, we weren't. I already said no.
Oh
And
my
I don't
God.
burn candles anymore. I got that new cool thing from Amazon that's like a halogen light that goes on the candle and melts the wax. It's awesome. So you can leave.
Wait a second. You have a light that melts wax.
Yeah, you put the candle underneath it so you don't have, or on top of it, and you don't have to light the candle.
What's
and
wrong
it
with lighting a candle?
Because what if I go outside? You don't want to light, or we leave and I don't know I have the candle on or
You
something.
don't leave your candles on. You're a grown-up. You blow them out when you leave.
Now I don't have to worry about it.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. I can't believe. Hey, do you have an app on your phone that'll start and
No.
stop the light? Because that'd be the next thing.
No.
You could turn off your candles. Welcome to the modern era. We have an app on our phone for turning
I
off
said no.
fake candles.
I
that
said
smell-
no.
No, but someone's going to go invent it now. Someone's going to go, that's a great
my
idea.
gosh.
That's a fucking great idea. We got an app on our phone that turns off our candles.
Are you done?
I don't know.
Are you done with your rant? Because I'm ready to get you on one. Are you ready?
What?
Oh, do you want to tell people how bad you've been driving lately? No, it's bad.
I do not drive bad.
I was laughing yesterday, for
Okay,
example.
you literally pissed me off yesterday because the only thing you were doing was laughing and pointing. You weren't even being helpful. You're just being a total dick.
We sat at the light you were supposed to turn left on.
Yes.
The light you were supposed to turn down the street,
Yeah.
and you whipped a Yui. You flipped a bitch right there, and I started busting. He goes, no, it's back here, the streets. I'm like, that was your street, dude. But
Okay.
you couldn't make
It's not like, you're making everybody think that I'm driving bad like I'm running into things.
He's not driving bad. He just bad at directions.
I got a lot on my mind, and maybe I miss a street once in a while.
But God forbid I tell you that you're going down the wrong street. So I just shut up.
Well, it's because you're one of those wives who there's a stop sign, there's a stop sign, there's a stop sign. And I look up and the stop sign's like 400 yards away still. So when you tell me you got to turn on the street, you got to turn on the street, you got to turn on the street, the street's like half a block away.
Babe, we were sitting at a red light.
Okay, yesterday was...
You were waiting for the green turn arrow to go. And you kept saying the street's back the other way. And I'm like, dude, you are on the wrong. You're going to be turning on the right street. But
Okay.
no, I didn't. You told me to be quiet. So I was like, fine.
The only thing I'm having problems with for some reason, and I don't know why I can drive anything. You can put me in a big rig, not with a trailer on it, but I mean, I could drive. I've driven Peterbilts before and parked them and backed them up. I can do it not with a trailer. I've never tried that, but I can drive motorhomes. I can drive fifth wheels, pull trailers. I can drive cars.
I don't know
and trucks.
now.
I could do that. I still drive I got our big 25-foot trailer. I park it all around. I'm fine. But the problem I'm having since we got this new truck It's weird. It has a tall, square front end. The turning radius is not like any other vehicle. It now, normally I could whip into a parking spot. Now I'm doing a 12-point turn
I know.
to get into a parking spot.
I'm
like,
doing the same thing.
What the fuck is wrong
You
with me?
can't see the front end of the truck.
I know, and I used to blame myself for that. It's like, okay, I can't see the front. That has nothing to do with me getting centered in the parking spot.
I hear you.
though.
I
I'm
know.
like, what? How is this so weird? It's about the same wheelbase as our Yukon. It's not that much different.
I don't know.
But
I'm having
something
problems too.
about this truck. We've had it for almost a year. I still can't get it right, and I don't know why.
It's weird. It's really weird. I have to do the same thing. I don't know. I'm just having a hard time parking in a parking space. It's ridiculous.
And I've never had that with any rig. I even had, remember my old dually? I had a big Chevy quad cab dually. Never gave me an issue. This one, not even that big.
I know. It's just so bizarre. But yeah, you would think by now we would know. Because driving the Yukon, I had no problem. I could back that thing up.
I think at our age, we'd have all of this shit down. There's nothing new coming down the pipe, and we're still fucking it up.
I don't know.
So I want to talk about something you brought up the other day. I wish you would have saved these, and I don't think you did. But you're doing so well on Facebook and Instagram with followers.
Thank you.
It's grown so fast and so much, and you're very attentive. You know, I know that the kid puts up reels. We put up reels in there, but basically, most of the content is your stuff.
Yeah, the kid gave it to me to take care of it.
A long time ago, and you've grown it great. But you keep showing me where celebrities...
Yes.
They either like or comment on your post, and you go check it out to see if it's and it is. It's really them.
It makes it so cool because there's a section when you own the. I'm sorry, here's my first yawn.
There's one yawn. We thought we got away from those. We're back to counting yawns again.
I'm sorry. It's so cool. When you own a channel on Instagram, you can go check, and they put in like. There's certain notifications that tell you, like, priority is what they call them. And so I usually go through because they're blue checked marked and I read them. And like, for example, one this morning was Jamie Lee Curtis. And I'm like, it can't be her.
Really?
Like,
yeah.
No way. So I clicked on it and then went to her page, and sure as shit,
it's her.
It was Jamie Lee Curtis. I'm like, she liked one of the posts. That was very, very cool.
You know, it's stupid to say that you don't think about, like,
they're
other
normal people.
Right. Or, well, let me put it this way. Sometimes I sit there and I go, wow, I wonder if there's any celebrities that really have ever watched Gen X Talks, have ever seen one of the kids' TikToks or his short or his reels. And you think, I wonder if there is. But why wouldn't there be? Celebrities scroll through TikToks and reels like we all do.
Yeah, like Chris Cuomo.
Yeah, like
Who
Chris
would have
Cuomo.
thought? They're regular people too. That when they have a few seconds, or they're sitting on a plane.
Yeah, it's like you can't say, all singers and celebrities and TV and movie, and they, of course, they're bored too. They're bored just like we are, and they're entertained just like we are. They scroll through stuff. So no matter what, even if they don't remember Gen X Talks, there's totally for sure that some people along that line have at least gone over our content at some point.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that someone would go through your content, not just the reels, but actually go through the page. Your whole page and like stuff. So
yeah, it was very cool. Sometimes it's really neat. Kobe Bryant's wife, Vanessa Bryant, liked one time, and I was like, "What?"
That's not really like they probably wouldn't know. Like, do you know you liked one of our posts one day? They'd be like, "No, who are you?"
Yeah,
they remember. But the idea is that it's kind of cool to know that your content is at least getting out there in front of everybody.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that was kind of cool. I wish you'd have saved some of those screenshots. You could have just put them together.
I'm going to start doing it because it seems to be happening more and more. I check almost every day. And so, but it seems like those blue check marks they'll give to almost anybody now. Like,
well, it's weird. Like on Twitter or X, whatever, you just buy one. It's $8.
Yeah.
You gotta check. But we can't get one on Instagram because you have to verify your name versus your account. And none of us have a driver's license that says Gen X Talk.
You're right.
So you can't really, that's why you saw there's so many people, so many social media influencers changed their names about 2 years ago to incorporate their real name in some degree, because like the real Slim Sherry, she can say, and my driver's license is Sherry, whatever her last name is. And they're like, okay, we see the correlation there. And you get your blue check mark. but we would have no way of doing that. I guess we could change Breg's middle name to Gen X Talks legally.
But you know what? Inside, I'm like, I don't really care. I don't need a check mark to verify me.
No,
I mean,
it's
not that
mainly
important.
about like advertisers and sponsors.
Yeah, I'm not very. It
Well, it's
doesn't.
not the part you're dealing with, so why would you care? I'm just saying that's a part that would care. Is they look and say, well, is your channel verified before we do business with you or whatever? There's little things like that are out there, but for the most part, no, you've grown the channel without it, which is good.
Amen, brother.
Yeah.
Amen. So I was thinking about something. You know how much we banter and tease each other about divorce all the time?
Oh,
like
yeah.
we'll get into something and you'll say like,
You keep doing this, I'm going to divorce you.
and I'll go, let me get my phone and I'll find the divorce.com.
I'm
We'll
divorcing
do it
you.
right now. I could probably
Fine.
do it on my phone.
Here's my credit card.
Do
Yeah.
you think it's too much? People think it's real, like when we do it?
No,
or,
they can't. I mean, no.
or that we always think about it because as soon as we start squabbling, and it's not like we're super mad when we say it, we just jokingly
it's a
do
joke.
it.
If there's people that are like, oh, listen to their podcast or listen to their live streams, they're always one step away from divorce. That's a stretch.
We just tease about it all the time. You said the D word. Don't say the D word.
Don't say it. You talk about it all the time. You must be thinking about it. But I want, since you brought it up, let's be clear about something. If we divorce, don't ever come back and think I'm going to date you.
Okay, why?
You have kids. I won't date a woman with kids anymore. I'm done with that.
Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
I know they're my kids too.
Who says I'm going to be coming back?
Well, the point of that little that point of
Who
that
says
joke
I
was to
come
say
back?
you have kids, and you'd say, well, they're your kids too. No. If once we divorce, they're all your kids. I am now a single guy with no kids. You're a
I'm
woman.
sorry, but I don't have kids at home, so I'll be a single mom too.
It doesn't. Yeah, single mom.
So
there
hold
you go.
on. So listen, y'all, shut up. You're a single dad too.
Nope, I'm not.
Bullshit. So listen, I don't have any baggage that's coming with me, so I'll be a free agent.
You have baggage, believe me. If anybody wants to date you and they want a list of your baggage, I'll be more than happy to send them a PDF file. There's baggage.
You have garage full of baggage.
Those are called assets.
Whatever.
See, when a guy has that stuff, that's called
Where is my phone? Hold on. I'm going to look it up right now and I'll have it done by the time we're out of here.
Also, just so you know, ladies and gentlemen, we talked about MarcyZavala.com, and Dr. McDreamy's put her, now she's gotten her diet squared away and pain-free. She's at physical therapy, which it sounds like I got to go handle. Do I got to go kick in the door to the physical? Catch everybody up on what's going on with that.
Well, I saw the physical therapist the first day and he did all these different maneuvers trying to find out what caused pain,
Kind of a consultation.
Yeah, a consultation. And then the next day I saw him for a few minutes and they started giving me stretches to do and they monitor and make sure that I'm doing the right things.
They plugged you into some machine too.
Oh yeah, they gave me electric stim. They start off with electric stim on my back for 10 minutes with heat to loosen up the muscles, and then I start going through all these exercises and stuff for about an hour, and then I'm back on heat for 10 minutes. I saw the physical therapist the first day, part of the second day, and then I've just been with the assistants or whoever they are in training
and
or
Dr.
whatever.
McDreamy's not happy about that.
No, they wanted him to do, I guess Dr. McDreamy spoke to the physical therapist and told him exactly what he wanted. And
Before you even got there.
Yeah, and not following through with what he had promised.
It sounds like the physical therapist is the only guy who can do a certain type of
manual
alignment.
Yes.
And so every time you get passed off to the assistant, there's no possible chance of the work Dr. McDreamy wants them to do getting done. You can't do it.
No, they're like gym trainers. Technically, what they're showing me is proper, how to properly do this stretch, and then they just watch me. They watch to make sure that I do it. So they're not hands-on.
Do I got to go down there and grab this doctor and go, look, dude, we're paying you, not your assistant?
No, I told you to stand down, and I told Dr. McDreamy, I'll go, give me one more shot. I'm going again on Friday. I'll ask some more questions and find out what's going. And then he texts me questions asked, and he goes, and you can throw me under the bus. I'm like, hey, okay.
Well,
so I'll talk to him.
I don't think you should go in there and be nice and polite and ask questions. I think you should go in there and say, listen, and this will speed things along. Trust me, I'm good at this. You should walk in there and say, Doc, you're fucking up. Start with that. Lead with that. Doc, you're fucking up. Okay? I can't be passed off to your interns and your associates. This is what I need done. And you got one very angry doctor that recommended you. And out in my pickup truck outside, you got one angry big husband who I'm keeping them both away from you. But you need to quit passing me around the room and you need to get this shit done. I think that's all you got to say. I think that guy get right back on his shit. He knows he's met me before. I don't think he wants to fuck around.
I know he's met you, but I said to Dr. McDreamy, I said, let me have one more shot with him on Friday and see what.
If not, we could always call Two Bear and get Two Bear out here. He'd straighten that dude out. We have a host of fans that love you as their queen. They'd be more than happy to walk in there and strangle this guy and go, you're not doing this right. You're not following what Dr. McDreamy says.
All right, I
we'll
get
get a
it.
line of people out there.
I get it.
Well, anyway,
I get it.
I will tell you this. In addition to all the stuff that you've done with Marcy, this seems to be helping too. Much in my mind, I'd say it's much smaller steps towards goodness, but it's only been like 4 visits too.
Yeah, it's been 2.5 weeks.
So you're going along the thing correctly. I think this is another. And again, if you get to marcyzavala.com, it's an entire path that she puts you on. And it's not a leaflet or a book. There's not one size fits all.
No, everybody's different.
And she knows when to have you do stretches. She knows when to send you to a physical therapist. She knows when to change. She can change those things.
And anybody that's had physical therapy knows it's tough. They put you through some interesting things. And what's been nice is I've been getting to like the end where they give me a really hard one and go, I can't, my back's now hurting, and they just kind of stop it. So
I'm just glad you're finally doing stuff and you're no longer a WebMD person. You're getting away from that a little bit because you did that the other day to me. You should do this when we were first married.
I just made a comment.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, this is you guys all need to put down your tools right now. Pay attention. I wasn't even going to bring this up, but we're on medical stuff. What?
I diagnosed leukemia before they even told me to.
With a root beer.
No, I started looking up my symptoms online going, yeah, there's something.
Okay, you can't, I get why everybody does that.
Dr. Madrini is shaking his head right now going,
it was a root beer. She's hated root beer her entire life. It's gross. She won't go near it. We were at Sam's Club checking out, grab a hot dog and a soda, and she goes, let me have some of that root beer. I was like, what? You don't like root beer? You hate root beer.
I hate it with a passion.
And she drank it like it was the most golden nectar of the gods ever. And I was like, okay, that's fucking weird. And then 2 days later, you were diagnosed with cancer. So we know it's one of our home tests. It's like
it's a big joke in the family.
But it's also a home test if she's not feeling well and we're worried she has cancer. Somebody runs and gets a root beer and goes, you want some?
I know the kids do
and
it too.
If you hate root beer still, we're okay. So see, that worked out good.
Sorry, all root beer lovers out there.
Anyway, so here's the deal with we were younger, it was worse, but it every now and then it comes back where she's this WebMD mother about stuff.
God.
So we got up the other morning and I was telling you, I said I couldn't sleep. I got up like at 2:30 in the morning. It was up till 2:30 or 4:30. I just couldn't sleep. And all of a sudden you just go, now your blood sugar's low.
I just ran across something that I said maybe.
No, see, now you're going to qualify everything you say by going, well, I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm just throwing things out there so you can think about it.
I was saying maybe, possibly. No, ladies and gentlemen, she looks at me and goes, well, your blood sugar's low. And here's why. It says you're supposed to get a glass of orange juice and and I'm like, all I told you was that I woke up and I couldn't sleep. You automatically, it's low blood sugar. Really? It couldn't be that I had a nightmare. It couldn't be that I was worried about or stressed about something. It couldn't be that I was having some pain in my knee or my back. I mean, there's a million things that could wake you up in the middle of the night. You didn't ask anything. I just said, I got up, I couldn't sleep, I was sitting in my chair, and you go, nah.
You make it sound like that's
your
one
blood
night.
sugar's low.
You make it sound like it's one night. This has been multiple nights. You've been getting up at the same time every single night.
I don't know, maybe, but you know that particular.
Listen to him. Oh well, maybe.
No, but you can't. How would you even know?
So what are you trying to say?
I'm going to say that I think you're right, and I think every time I wake up in the middle of the night, I'm just going to drink some orange juice, and all my problems will go away, and I'll be back asleep. Because you went into this whole thing about when you drink the orange juice and the sugar gets in your system, it releases the endorphins in your brain.
I never said that.
You read an entire paragraph.
I never said that. You are so full of shit.
You had a whole example on how orange juice was going to cure my problems in life.
I didn't. Wow.
I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, this is exactly
This
how it
sounds like a
goes.
big fish story.
It isn't. This is what you do.
No, you are so full
Okay,
of shit.
I can prove it. So,
Here we go.
so the other night, years ago, I'd go upstairs and I'm having trouble sleeping, and you'd go, you would think back to what I ate or drank during the day, and you would pick that and go, "There's your problem."
I'm bringing it up to put it in your brain going, wonder if it is that.
Well, what was fun, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, this is how I shut her up with that. This is years of me going, "Oh my gosh, I'm really not feeling well. I'm hurting. I can't sleep." Oh, you drank milk today and milk's fucking you up. The next day, oh, I'm hurting. I can't. Oh, you drank whiskey tonight. Whiskey's fucking you up.
Do you want me to just say you're fat and in poor health?
Yes, that would be more honest.
All right.
Because she goes through this and every single time I go, really, it's the
You
milk?
got it.
Just because all she does is scroll back in her brain. Remember what I ate? Well, you had McDonald's today. No wonder you're not feeling well. The next day, oh, you had chicken today. No wonder. Didn't matter.
Boy,
what
it sounds like
was.
I'm really smart.
You're not smart. You just remember.
All right. You're fat and not in good health.
Thank you.
Amen.
And then here's.
End of story.
No.
Nope.
They want.
Nope.
They
no
want to
more.
know how I shut you up. So one night I'm in terrible pain. I'm really hurting. And I sitting at my desk and I'm going, God. And she walks up. She goes, "You okay?" I said, "No, I'm really hurting right now. It's my lower back and my knees. I don't feel good." And I see her beginning to think. There she goes again, trying to think. But guess what? That particular day, I hadn't done anything wrong. We had a couple home-cooked meals. I didn't drink any milk. I didn't have any soda. I didn't have any whiskey. And she's looking, and all of a sudden I glanced up and said, "Well, what are you going to say now? I didn't have any milk, didn't have any whiskey, didn't have any soda.
You sat on your fat
didn't
ass
have
all
any
day.
Fast food. What do
You
you got
sat
to
on
say
your
now?
fat ass all day.
Now you're reaching. Now that you're reaching, because you all of a sudden you realized all the shit you normally blow up at me about, I didn't do any of them, and you were at a loss for words. Because you know what? It's not everything I eat and drink every day. It's not just, well, this. You just pointed out. You point out that, like you said, the only thing you come up with is I sat too long.
Yeah, and that's bad.
Oh my God, here we go. So now, no milk, no soda, no whiskey, eat correctly, and don't sit. What are you going to say if I'm hurting then? Well, that's normal. You walked a lot today. So normally, yeah, you're going to hurt today. You did a lot of walk. You'll find something. You can't just defer. I'll tell you what, anytime you have some cockamamie thing in your brain that you're going to blame, I want you to run it by Dr. McDreamy first.
I would be happy
You call
to.
him and say he's hurting, and I think it's, the diet yoo-hoo he drank. Go ahead.
I will. I'll be happy
his
to.
permission to yell at me. I'll take it.
I'll let him yell at you.
He's not going to yell at me. And he's certainly not going to go along with every
Bullshit.
cockamamie thing you come up with. There's no fucking way.
That's like the first thing he asks. He's like, what did he eat today? Did he move?
He doesn't just pick one out of his ass and blame me for it.
Did he have
though.
alcohol today?
Oh, you had 3 Doritos. That's clearly what it was.
Okay.
Whatever.
I'll be happy to call him. I'll have him yell at you.
I just don't want any more 30-minute
I'll just call
lectures.
you fat and unhealthy.
Fine. At least you're being more honest. It's like, okay, that's a little obvious, but yeah, you can't. It's not like you just pick on me for stupid shit. Whatever. I don't know. Do we have a kid update? Because we do a little bit.
Well, that's up to you if you want to talk about it. By the way, did our daughter ever come in last night? I think we
How
fell
long was she
asleep.
in the driveway? She came home.
I told you she's on the phone from the time she leaves work till the time she gets into the driveway. She comes in the door on the phone. She eats dinner on the phone. She goes up. She never says hi to any of us. She just goes in her room. She's constantly on the phone.
I think she sat in the driveway with her engine running and her headlights on from 7:30 till just after 10.
Because I fell asleep. I didn't hear the front door. Did the
And I
dogs?
try to wait up until she's in the house. If I know my kids are coming home, you know, I don't take my boots off.
Right.
That's like been a thing for 30 years. I keep my boots on until all of our kids have come home. Then I take my boots off. I don't got to go rescue them, or it's just a thing I do. I don't know why I do it. I know I'm weird, but I do that. I keep my boots on.
But like I said, I don't remember hearing the dogs either. But
I think on the cameras, like the doorbell camera, it showed, I think she came in at 10:15. But I got tired. I texted her. And I'm like, are you coming in? Are you okay? She's just on her phone.
she didn't answer you?
No, not till later. She did eventually, but I finally just gave up. And
So
took my
what's
boots
the
off.
story behind that?
Well, then she got up and went to work this morning at 5 o'clock in the morning, so I didn't get to talk to her. But the limited texting that we did, she was on the phone with her boyfriend. again.
Ex-boyfriend?
Well, yes, but okay, let's back up. We all know that last week we told you she broke up and everything was serious. Then something
We're
really
taking bets on the over-under, just so you know.
on how long until she goes back with him.
You want to jump in that bandwagon? We'll do it.
Okay. Yeah, betting pool with squares.
That's right.
We witnessed something, I would call it bizarre, from our daughter in the kitchen. We're sitting there. I'm trying to talk to her. You were at the table eating lunch and doing something, and I'm at the bar top, and she was in there. I started texting and talking to her in person, and I said, "All right, how's it going with your boyfriend? What's been going on?" And then she said something bizarre, weird. She read us a text message to her boyfriend. She had been staying away from him. She had been cutting it off and saying this isn't working, and so she was on day 3, no contact. Day 4,
like something you write in your journal.
It was worse than that. It was Hamlet. It was Shakespeare. She's on day like 6, like, okay, well, you can't get to day 100 of being without your boyfriend until you get past day 6, so stay strong. And then she caves and she folds and she talks and she sits with them, and she gets hurt all over again, and now we're back to day 1. So this was like day 5, day 6, and I'm said, "Did you cave?" And she said, "Yeah." I said, "What'd you do?" She goes, "I sent him a text message." I thought, all right, well,
It was more like a poem.
that's not too bad, And she goes, "Well, let me read you what I wrote."
Ugh, I knew that was a bad idea. when
And
she did that.
I thought you were covering your mouth so you wouldn't laugh at the chair, because she starts going. She tells him his name and says, "Dear so-and-so, I have nights that I cannot sleep. My mind wanders to days of you. Oh. Like the moon rises and the sun sets and the willow leaves fray back and forth in the wind. So are my emotions about you."
And it went on and on.
She did this.
And on.
She wrote 6 pages of Shakespeare stuff.
I didn't say a word. I wasn't even going to answer.
And she
I was
gets
like,
done and she looks up at me after she read it, go, "Don't ever fucking write that again."
no, you asked, did you send that? Did you?
Good. Did you send it? She goes, "Yes." I go, "Don't ever do that again. Ever." She goes, "Why?" I go, "That was the most bizarre thing. That's like something a 13-year-old would write."
Yeah.
And at the end of it, it was, she goes, "Well, but at the end, I was showing him that we're broken up and we can't be together."
Oh, God.
And it said something along the lines of, "And because of all this, I will cry over the shadow as your shadow passes in front of me at work. And I will long that you are at the other end of the lunch break table, but it must be so." I mean, she does this and tells me, "Do you see how convincing that was?" No, that's not convincing at all. If you want to break up with someone, you go, "Don't fucking text me anymore. Lose my number. Change your number. Do something, but don't ever give them the middle
Cut bait,
finger."
move on.
What's that?
Cut bait, move on.
Yeah, this is not cutting bait.
Move on.
She was weaving a tapestry and then presenting him this tapestry and say, "Hang this in your wall and always think of me because we're never going to be together again." That dude is living rent-free in her head right now.
Absolutely.
And I told her, so there she is.
And you know what? Let's say this. Since they've broken up, he hasn't not once come to the house.
No.
To speak to her in person.
Nope.
Not once has come to the door with flowers going, "I'm really sorry."
Not even sent flowers.
No, not once has even just come to talk to her or take her on a date.
He hasn't even come to me and said, "Look, I really fucked things up.
No.
How do I fix this?"
There's been nothing.
Which is a move a guy could do to a dad and say, "Look, I'm really sorry. I'm trying to fix this." Come to the parents and go, "How do I do this?" Nothing. And then she sends this epic Shakespearean poem to this guy. And I looked at her and said, "You got to start over now. Tomorrow's day 1. You got to get to day 100 and see how you feel. But you keep restarting this thing."
Yeah. And if you guys haven't known, if this is like your first podcast, she works with him. She shit where she ate.
She told me that was a mistake. She goes,
she sees him every single
She told me,
day.
she goes, "You're right, Dad. I shouldn't have ever dated a guy I worked with because now it's hard." I go, "Fucking told you. Why don't you listen to me?"
Totally.
So that's the update on her. I think last night she was in the driveway for 3 hours. And I said, well, I know you're talking to him, so we're starting over. Tomorrow's day one again. So today she went to work, and today is day one of trying to break up. And that's just where she's at. Now, Briggs is the other one. Briggs moved out, and it's not good.
It's never easy, but he's having a really hard time with this.
And he's putting all of his effort into working at Cutco Knives. He's doing all of the grunt work. He's dumping the trash. He's making the phone calls. He's driving everybody everywhere. He's in a very weird living situation where he rents a room from his boss, and he gets now a certain percentage of money from selling these Cutco knives. Not only does he get what he gets for doing his job, but he gets a little bit of cut of the office because he's doing all these massive hours. But his boss says, well, I'm going to hold back part of your money for doing some stuff. And we'll do. And he's like, okay, that's fine. I don't get the whole dynamic of everything he's doing. I just know that he's confused. It's upsetting. He's not okay. He's emotionally. He came home. What did he do the other day? You said he came home and just sat in the game room because all his stuff's gone from his room.
Right. There's no bed or nothing in there. And he was on our bed. You always go to mom and dad's bed when it makes it feel better. I found him. I was looking all over the house, and I went into our room, and he's laying on our bed with no phone, no nothing, just kind of like staring at the ceiling.
And why didn't he go home? Why didn't he go to his house?
He
was here, and he stayed the whole day, and he was
did.
quiet.
He came and went, but he always came back home that day.
He's really having a hard time, and he's missing Gen X Talk staff meetings.
You know what his problem is just time management. That is his biggest.
I think he's beginning to see a little bit like this isn't all it's cracked up to be.
Oh, no, I even said, I joked with him, and he was so upset. I said, adulting's hard, huh? I made it purposely tell him, like, it's not all it's cracked up to be.
No, everybody he's got to do his own grocery shopping.
Yeah, we all love it. Like, we all want to do it. Wash his own
clothes. He's got to get soap and shampoo and toothpaste. He's got to keep it. He's got a room to clean on his own now. I mean, he's got to
wash his own clothes.
He's got to do all sorts of stuff that was, a lot of things that he was taking for granted now he's got to do. And he's got to work the job to make the money to pay the bills. He's got bills to pay.
Yeah.
It's
Freedom's
not easy.
Expensive.
Oh, freedom's hugely expensive. So he's struggling, and he's not paying as much attention to Gen X Talks.
But he told me he doesn't want to drop Gen X Talks. He loves it. He really does. I think he just needs to find a balance.
If you love it, if you love something, you make time for it.
Absolutely.
That's how I feel.
We'll see. We'll see what happens.
So, yeah, he's
going
really
with me to Vegas, so maybe I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to bring anything up unless he does. Maybe he'll bring something up, especially when we're driving. That's when the kids used to talk to me.
Yep.
So, and just a hint to those up and coming parents out there, that's a great time to have conversations with your kids is when you're in a car, because they can't go into another room. Yep. They can't go watch TV. You're kind of a captive audience.
Don't let them have headphones.
Yeah, don't let them have headphones. And that's a really good time to have some conversations or just bring up. And most of the time, all you have to bring up is, so how you doing? And it usually start coming. So
they will tell you how they let you know.
Anyway, so let's change subjects. So that's a kid update. But so I don't understand what you and Jacob are doing, but I'm kind of lost on all these sponsors that are happening around here.
Well, we've never taken on an advertiser or a sponsor in over 3 years.
No, so
told everybody no.
What are you guys doing?
Well, Jacob comes in, and he's our brand manager, but he's absolutely in the social media advertising world. That's like his area.
Okay.
He's not used to dealing with one-on-one channels. He's used to dealing with conglomerate, like 500 channels are all signed up. Now we go to Pepsi. Okay. We got 500 channels. Now we got 700 million viewers as a group. Let's go to Pepsi. Let's go to Ford. So he's done all that for 12 years. He's very good at it.
Okay.
So now he says, I'd like to try the one-on-one thing and see if we can't do some stuff here. And he's gotten a bunch of companies to have conversations.
You've met some interesting people along the way,
I have met some great people. The idea is to bring them in for a conversation. Maybe we do an interview. Maybe we just get on a Zoom call. We do some stuff where we throw out a little advertising. Hey, we're talking with Grill Master. Hey, we're talking with these guys. Just kind of lay the groundwork, let people know what we're doing. No money exchanging at that level. Just, getting them used to us, because one of the rules that I came up with Jacob is, if they are not a fan of Gen X Talks, I don't want them around. They can't come in and go, well, we don't really like what you're saying on Gen X Talks, but we do like, you do have an audience, and we'd like to be part of your audience. Here's some money. No,
I wouldn't want
that either. It's like, you got to be, when I talk to them, I'll ask him things like, well, what do you like about Gen X Talks the most?
Yeah, you have to interview them. It's got to go both ways.
A little bit, yeah. And so not everybody's been a good fit for us because they have to like us and I have to like their product. Jacob brought me a one with an online wiring diagram company that does automotive. And you think that would be a good fit, but I looked at all their stuff and it was really poorly put together, missing a lot of information.
Didn't blow your mind?
No, but I was the wrong guy to ask that question to because I could tell within about 20 minutes of scrolling through their stuff, this was not a complete product.
Interesting.
And I told Jacob, I said, look, man, I'm going to punt. Just tell him nicely that it's not a really a good fit, but I just couldn't do it.
I love that we're not just going to settle for anybody. That
No.
we're not looking for money just because we want money.
I don't mind. Hey, I'd like to quit footing the bill for all this shit around here.
Yes, we would. I'm getting tired of signing all the checks.
Right, because right now it's us and our fans. It's, when Mrs. Four's coming with some money to help, and it's with Loud One when he was working the circuit, coming in with money to help. I mean, consistently. And then all the fans that came out to help build the studio. It's been on the backs of a very tight group of family, of Gen X Talks family, that
which
all
we
this has been
appreciate.
done. So now it's like,
So
if
much.
there's some people with some interest, let's do it. But one of them was Zippix. They make nicotine sticks, and they do help people quit smoking. And Mike Perkins raves about it because Mike Perkins is an Uber driver. He goes, now, guess what? The nicotine sticks help me with Zippix. My car doesn't smell like smoke. So my customers love it. He's getting along so much further in life.
Yeah.
And he's
our
healthier.
own Trippy Pineapple uses them too.
Trippy Pineapple uses them. So Zippix, for me, it wasn't a good fit for me. I don't have any vaping or nicotine issues.
Right.
But our daughter Jade, she's like, wow, these really work for vaping. And everybody that we've handed them to, they're like, yeah, this is great stuff. So if Zippix likes us, they're absolutely a cool product that's helping people. Yeah, I'd like to do some stuff with them. So that worked out to be easy. And I did an interview. I met with the owner of the company for about half an hour. It's up on our interview page. Really unique guy, the stuff that he's been through to get to this point. And working on boats and driving boats down in Florida to now he got to this point. We learned so much about these people. But Big Dog Tools, they do just drills.
And we just
cutting.
did that on our garage show. That was pretty fun.
Which we fucked up completely.
That's all right.
But we did
I told you, sometimes those shows are funny.
Oh my God, I was so mad and upset. But we did a live demonstration. This Friday, we're going to do it again. For those of you who don't miss the Friday night show at 6 o'clock California, Los Angeles time, we're going to do another live demonstration, but much better. We'll do it on wood, concrete, and metal. And it's going to be a great show. We're going to set up different cameras so we don't fuck it up. That's going to be a good show. And it's based around Big Dog Tools. They like us. We like them. I met the mom and pop operation. They've been doing it together, driving around the country for 25 years, peddling their tools. And now they're big enough where they can have others peddle their tools.
Very cool.
And they only make a couple of cutting things, a few items.
Yeah, that's what I've heard you talk about that. So that's
That
cool.
is such a big thing to not go,
Specialized.
Well, we make 700 items and they're all great.
We got to remember to take them up to my brother to see if he'll.
We got to do that. We got to get some up too. Yeah, the Sun Valley Fox has got to see some of the stuff.
He is a master machinist by trade.
Yeah,
so he'd probably dig
would
that.
Really do it. So it's Grill Master, where you love the Grill Master.
I
stuff.
want some more Grill Master.
Oh,
Can I have some money to buy some Grill Master?
No.
Come on.
Again, they're not a sponsor of the show, but we're talking with them, and they sent us some stuff to look at.
I want to go buy some.
Their stuff is really fucking awesome.
It's really good.
If you go to our webpage, genxtalks.com, there's a sponsor page at the bottom, and there is a link to all these things we're telling you, and there's a link to Grillmaster if you want to do a promo code to get a couple bucks off. Their shit is great.
It's very tasty.
And they're not a
pretty
sponsor of the
amazing.
program yet. We've just talked.
No, but it's a great product.
It's a great product.
Love
Zippix the
them.
same way. Big Dog Tools is the same way. We did something with that grill floss guy. He was cool. And I met a guy, Gabriel, from Meat and Bone. And I'm not going to go through the whole article. It hasn't even posted yet.
Yeah.
They're not a sponsor. They're not an advertiser with us. But this kid came from Venezuela to Florida at 13.
You said that's the great American story.
The great American story. And he just went and worked for everybody he could. Him and his buddy eventually started cutting meat like a butcher out of a closet in the back of a meat shop. And
You're telling the whole story. 6
years later, they sponsored a NASCAR.
And you're telling the whole story.
I can't even tell you how much. I wouldn't even be able to guess how much money that is to sponsor a NASCAR.
Pretty crazy.
He's a great kid. It was a great interview. I love the guy. I hope we could do something with him, but if we can't, it's okay. I'm still going to tell you about Meat and Bone because they sent us some gear. They sent us some food to try. We will, but they already like us. They like Gen X Talks. He was talking about the things he liked that was funny about our program. So again, you asked me where all the sponsors are. We're just talking with most of them. A couple things are moving along, but the main thing is they have to have a good product. They have to like us, and then we do the interviews where we're getting to know the people before we do anything.
And I like
fun.
that part of the interview that you're interviewing them because you want to also see if they align with what our beliefs are.
Yeah.
And I think doing the interview, you get a good feel for them. It's not just here's a contract, say our name.
Right. Yeah.
You're doing a little more diving deep and getting some details like, do we support this whole thing?
You know, the kid got a bunch of blowback when we first started talking about the idea of having sponsors and advertising.
Why?
Oh, he got emails, direct messages, and comments all over.
Like we're selling out?
Yep. He says, oh, well, now you're taking money for what you're doing. You're a sellout. You're fucking done. You fucking sellouts. He comes back and says, what do you do for a living? And the guy says, well, I do brickwork. Oh, so you're good at brickwork and people pay you to do brickwork, but people can't pay me for what I'm good at?
That's smart.
How does that fucking work? And he didn't just delete comments. He went to every single person that said that shit and go, you get up every morning and get paid for what you do. But as soon as I get paid for what I do, and I've had to do this shit for free for 3 years, the kid Briggs was telling everybody, did you do your bricklaying for 3 years for free till people liked you? Were you a plumber for 3 years for free? Did you work at McDonald's for free for 3 years until someone said, okay, we'll pay you for flipping burgers? No, you got paid the moment you got there. But I put in 3 years of trying. I get to a point where someone might pay me, and now I'm an asshole for getting paid for what I did. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, plus after all the hours that are spent doing the channel, which people don't understand,
but
it takes hours. He's way below minimum wage.
Way below minimum wage. But like me, I did the same thing. We both lost our shit. We're like, fuck you. You know, you get paid for that shit, but we can't. There's no reason for that. But it's certainly easy for someone to call you a sellout. The two things they did was they go, you're a sellout, and the other one was, oh, now you're rich. Okay, I'll promise you, nobody's getting rich doing this.
If the kid was rich, he wouldn't be in an apartment right now. He would be in his own house,
and he wouldn't be
not.
Selling Cutco knives, renting from his boss.
Yeah, it's not.
Driving my old Dodge pickup.
You got to do this because you like it.
But that's where we're at with sponsors and advertisers. Jacob is just weaving his way through. But there's a lot of just conversations that never really go anywhere. But so what? They're great people and they're great conversations. Just like Grant Martin with Torquestrap. He's been up here. We've been down there. And, he's got a great product. We have a great way to get his message out. But, Grant's kind of an asshole. He's a millennial. He doesn't like us personally. He thinks that I'm a little bit on the ugly side of things. So he likes you just fine, but he doesn't like me. So he's like, I can't endorse Gen X Talks with my awesome Torquestrap product because you personally aren't up to the level. Now, he didn't say all those things to me, but I feel that he's ready to say all those things to me. I think that's what's been holding him back, is he doesn't know how to confront me on my ugliness and go, look, man, I don't know how to tell you this, but I'm never going to put a pristine product like Torquestrap on a channel with such an awful figure like you. I think that's what's coming from Grant. I really do. I think that's the only thing holding him back.
Is the bromance over?
It might be.
Did it just come to an end right now?
I just did. Well, that and his Lennar towel thing. That just was.
Oh my goodness! All right. Well, do you have a car story this week?
Yeah.
I'm stretching.
As you're stretching, try not to yawn again. Let me qualify that. People are going to think I seriously don't like Grant and Torquestrap. I've had this Torquestrap product behind me, like on the last 3 live streams, and it's a great thing. Better than motorcycle straps, way better than bungee cords, and I like Grant a ton. He's one of the greatest guys you're ever going to run into. Whether he does anything with us or not, you guys need to know I'm just fucking with you guys, and I would promote his product for free. That's how good it is. Anyway, car story. You're not going to understand this one, so you're really not going to be on your phone while I'm telling it.
You know what?
I'll wait. You let me know when you're ready to talk.
I'm talking to Dr. McDreamy right now.
In the middle of the podcast?
You know what? He's important.
Okay? What I'm important. I'm right here in the same room with you.
I have given you time.
I'm not speaking until you put your phone down.
I'm giving him a few seconds of my time right now.
Okay, that's completely inappropriate, just so you know.
No, not really.
Okay, yeah, it is. All right, listen. All right, you paying attention now? Because you're going to have to understand the car story, and I can't tell.
I've heard all your car
You never
stories.
heard this one.
Bullshit.
I can't tell if the audience is getting lost unless I look at the expression on your face, and then I'm like, okay, I'm losing people here.
Okay,
Because if I
what's
can,
my lost face?
that right there.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
All right. So, do you know anything about towing a vehicle behind another vehicle? Do you know that there's any risks to that at all?
Sure.
I'm going to wait for you to be a little more specific. I'm not just taking.
I'm supposed to talk about the risks.
I just wondered if you understand that there's some things you have to, like a couple things you have to worry about. If you're
Lights.
towing a vehicle. Lights would be one.
Lights you have to have on. You got to make sure you have the I forgot what it is, the extra chain attached so it doesn't come apart.
Safety chain in case you're right. Got that. Tow bar and a safety chain.
Got to do it in neutral.
There's the one we're talking about.
Your girl knew that.
You did. So I was working at Jim Marsh, it's a car dealership. They did Mazda, they did Jeep, and I think Subaru. No, Volvo. Maybe it was Volvo. Anyway, this is in the early 90s. And a guy had purchased like a $500,000 motorhome in Los Angeles. He had purchased a brand new Jeep, like a Wagoneer, full luxury limited edition, brand new. And he couldn't get any answers. He had a guy hook up a tow bar and lights and everything. And then he called up because for some reason, this one mechanic, this one technician at Jim Marsh, I think his name was Pete. His name was Pete. Can't remember his last name. He was one of the top Jeep guys in the nation. I don't know how this rich guy found his name, because not like it's on a directory.
Right.
Not like it's on a list, especially before there was internet. But he got a hold of Pete, because I remember Pete talking to the guy on the phone. He says, yeah, you can tow a Jeep behind a motorhome. He goes, and at the time, they were still building custom Jeeps. Like you could get it with a stick transmission. And so he goes, now, does a Jeep you have a stick transmission or an automatic? He goes, it's a stick. He goes, okay. So you're going to want to put it in neutral. You got to have the stick in neutral. He goes through this whole big thing. And there's no way Pete would get this wrong. He wouldn't. There's just no fucking way. Pete was that good, very good at communicating with people, very good at asking questions. So 5 days later, this motorhome comes pulling into our service bay, which we never have motorhomes in the service bay. Just drove through the gates, around the back of the dealership, right in, and it's towing a brand new Jeep that looks like underneath is on fire. And we're like, get that fucking thing. You're going to burn the building down. You know, I mean, people ran over with fire extinguishers because there's smoke coming out. This old boy jumps out of his motorhome, and he must have weighed 350 pounds, and he was wearing one of those trippy pineapple decorative shirts, khaki pants, and sandals.
He's in retirement mode, man.
He's in retirement mode, and he's running around yelling, "Where's Pete?"
Uh-oh.
And he ain't happy. So come to find out, and I think Pete was gone, or he was there later, so maybe he was just at lunch, but now we're all trying to figure out what the fuck's wrong with this guy. The service manager's out there. The sales manager's out there. The owner is out there. Jim Marsh was out there. And we're telling the guy, why are you pissed at us? We didn't sell you the Jeep.
Right.
We didn't sell you the motorhome. We didn't hook this up. He's like, I just drove from L.A. and it fucked up my Jeep and I want a new Jeep and you're going to give me a new Jeep. It's under warranty. Okay. Somewhere during this hour-long conversation, Pete shows up. And the guy starts screaming at him. And Pete's a pretty aggressive guy, but he's holding his cool. He's like, and the guy says, you told me all this over the phone and I made sure it was right. So right away, he can see the Jeep the guy's talking about is not a stick.
Oh, shit.
It's an automatic. So Pete walks over and opens the door and says, you told, and points right to it. Now, it's got the floor shifter in the center column between the driver's and passenger
There's a big
seat.
difference.
It's got a shifter. Park, reverse, neutral, drive. It's got the shifter. And he goes, you told me you had a stick. He goes, yep, there's the stick.
Oh, my goodness. He's not very car swabby.
Pete said, no, I didn't ask if you had a stick to shift your transmission. I asked you if it was a stick transmission. He goes, what's the difference? He goes, well, quite a bit.
Big difference.
So the guy left this thing in drive.
He didn't.
This is where I can't believe this part of the story is true. but I saw part of it happen. He smoked this transmission driving it all the way from Las Vegas from LA to Las Vegas. He smoked that transmission. It about fucking melted inside there. But here's the worst part.
What?
Because a guy named Rudy the guy ended up trading this thing in, bought another Jeep, went on his way days later, and we got stuck with this fucked up Jeep. And they wanted the factory wanted to know, is anything salvageable? Like if we put another transmission in it, it's still a brand new Jeep. Can we sell it? And so this guy Rudy was another tech there for Jeep, and he had to go through and look at some stuff. So once we got the okay, this is weeks later, he pushed the thing back in the shop. We know the transmission's junk, but he's got to check out the motor. And Rudy comes to me because I was in the stall right across from him. He goes, "The motor's smoked." Wow. And I said, "I don't understand how the motor would be smoked. It's an automatic. I mean, maybe the transmission got all fucked up and melted, and but that's it. There's a separation between the engine and transmission through the torque converter. There's really no way to engage the engine like you would in a stick. So anytime you smoke a transmission, your engine's always fine. I haven't seen a ton of them, but I've never seen one that damaged the engine. Somehow this transmission melted and locked up that fucking torque converter and began spinning the engine backwards, locked up in reverse."
Oh, shit.
So I'm thinking the guy drove it he towed it in reverse. Maybe he had I'm guessing, because I would not even know how to make up how this would happen. I know how it would smoke the transmission. We all know that. That's obvious. You're not pumping fluid. You're not cooling the transmission. It's over. You're done. Everybody knows that. But I don't think there's a human being that can explain to me how that transmission failed and melted and locked up in reverse and began spinning the engine, not running, just dry spinning it all the way from LA to here. I think because when he got here, the transmission shifter was now in neutral. I'm thinking the guy towed it a couple hundred miles and knew something was wrong, and he went out there and said, "Oh shit, I got it in reverse. Let me put it in neutral," and then drove the rest of the other 400 miles to Vegas. I'm guessing something like that happened, but even as a mechanic of all these years, I can't make up a way that it did that.
So the whole car was done.
A junk. Now Rudy goes that the whole engine's just smoked, and I said, "How do you know it smoked it in reverse?" And what he said was, he goes, "I finally got it to break loose inside the transmission where he could spin it. He could grab the rear tail shaft and move the transmission. And as you spun the transmission in what would be forward motion, it spun the transmission backwards, so it was locked up in reverse. So the engine would have been in reverse. I don't know.
He's lucky that didn't catch fire.
He's really lucky.
He could have lost the motorhome too.
I don't know. I think, here's what I told Rudy. I said, but if the transmission locked up in reverse, wouldn't the clutches and gearing still make the engine spin forward? And I don't think he had an answer for me, because this really isn't my story, but he smoked the transmission for the first time in my life. The engine was toast, and Rudy, the Jeep guy, said he put a big old fucking bar on the back of it, and when he rocked the motor backwards or spun the transmission, the engine started to move. It started to rotate that direction. He goes, that's how he knew it was backwards. Anyway, forward or backward, I've never heard of a transmission, an automatic seizing up to a point where it connected to the motor.
Jesus.
It could, I guess. I mean, it's possible, but that's like watching Chernobyl and saying, how does an RKM reactor explode? It'll never explode. Can't happen. It's a 1 in a million thing.
Oh, God.
But either way, that guy pulled into he wasn't leaving. He wanted the whole dealership to come to a screeching halt until he got until he was satisfied with the outcome. But Pete very clearly got everybody off the hook by pointing out, you have an automatic. Just because there's a stick that you shift, that you rotate, that's you just being stupid, dumbass. You don't have a clutch pedal.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he smoked it. He ended up trading it in, and I think he had to buy a brand new Jeep.
I was going to say, did he get a loss, or was it a direct trade?
I think he probably paid at the time. He probably paid $35,000 for this top of the line Jeep, and they probably gave him $500 for it. Ooh. And then he had to buy another one, but he had money. He continued on his journey.
Ouch.
But yeah, very expensive mistake. But that's something that came to mind. But that really wasn't a me story. That was a Pete
you
story.
witnessed it,
yeah.
but you witnessed it. I'm just, Ouch.
And the thing I remember most vividly was this guy pulling this gigantic motorhome into a shop where we only had cars. We only had pickup trucks. We didn't even bring flatbeds in there because there's small lifts, small racks, small stalls. We didn't.
He didn't care?
Nope. He came into that thing and blocked the whole thing, honking that horn.
Everything was coming to a halt.
Everything did. So if there's any transmission guys out there that could ever tell me how a completely melted transmission could lock up a converter and spin a motor, I would love to hear it because I don't get it.
Email him at genxdad@genxtalks.com.
I'd like to know. That was a little bit beyond me, but there's your car story. So did we miss anything today? I'm sure we're missing some
We're
shit.
way over. Can I guess a time?
Go
Because
ahead.
I don't know.
Yeah.
When do I start from? That's the question.
So you got to start from the first time before I forgot to press record, or the second time?
So I don't know, an hour 25.
Hour 23.
Woo!
Wow.
I didn't even look at the clock. I was like looking
really
that way.
close. Well, I think maybe I talked a little bit too much about Grant. I feel like I mentioned his name.
It's a little bromance. It's
More
getting
than once.
disgusting. That's enough.
Just saying.
We don't have to talk about it
On my
anymore.
mind.
Please stop.
Hey, I only sent him one text message today, and I said, "Hey, I know you're going to China. Please be safe."
Oh God. Love and kisses.
I did not do that.
Did you put a little heart and a
No.
little kissy face?
No, I told him I hope
Is
he
that
dies.
for later when you go to sleep?
Yeah, I told him I hope he dies. I hope your plane crashes. That's what I told him.
Wow.
Anyway, I think we covered everything we're supposed to. We got everybody caught up. We got things going. I'm severely disappointed in myself on how this is going to be edited. Like I might do the audio version regular, and I may sit on the video trying to learn how to do it the way professionals edit. You guys all saw the one we posted today. Today is Thursday. Ours will drop tomorrow. You'll be listening to this on Friday, but it's I really need to spend the time and effort.
Oh, great.
To
More
make
time.
our stuff look better. Well, I got to do it. It looks cheesy. The things we do. We got great content, but we just don't look like professionals like the other guys do, and I got to try to fix it.
Hope that's fine.
All right. Well, I don't know. I think if we're done, we're done. Say goodnight, Gracie.
Good night, Gracie.
Thank you guys for tuning in. If you had an hour and 24 minutes and 42 seconds of your day to waste, I'm glad you chose to waste it here. It's coming up on 11:30 Los Angeles time. Thank you guys for tuning in around the planet, AM, FM, Sirius XM, or perhaps you listened in on the Armed Service Radio Network. Remember two things. One, wherever you go, there you are. That's profound advice. And two, I'll catch you guys on the flip side.
Bye, everyone. Have a great day.
Life is a